Now, back to Coastal Living on KZTV.
Welcome back, everybody. Now we're going to continue the conversation about wreaths. We have our crafty Kendall here to share her creativity with us because she is a wreath master. Thank you for joining us, Kendall.
Thanks. I love making wreaths. I make wreaths for almost every season, so maybe sometimes two.
It's
During
excessive
season.
sometimes. It's okay.
Yes, I just really like to make them. I don't know, they make my front door look pretty. So.
Yeah, I love it. And if you want to see some of her work, you can follow her on Instagram. We've got the link down there during the segment. So we just talked about wreaths. In fact, we are going to donate this one to the memory program with Mirador, which is really, really special. So give us the basics. Some people just say, you know what, no thanks, I'm just going to buy one. But the deal here is that it's really not that difficult if you get the gist of it to come up with one on your own. So what do you think?
Exactly. So basically all you do is just stick some stuff in this wreath. I mean, it's really that simple. I got my hot glue gun right here.
Okay.
That's the hardest thing to do. Find your hot glue gun because I had to search for mine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start taking these pretty little pieces right here, and you just stick them in right into that bow. And I already put the bow on, as you can see.
Now the bow is one thing you might want to look up how to do. It's just sort of a couple of loop-de-loops and a twisty tie around. No big deal. You can Google it.
Exactly. Or you can go to Hobby Lobby and get one that's already pre-beautifully made.
There you go.
That's simple.
Very cool. And really, if you feel like you're not creative, because Kendall's a creative person, I'm pretty creative, so you kind of have a natural eye for it. But if you don't, stick with this sort of thing. You want to pick maybe three elements. Right here we have some ornaments. We have these pretty little, I don't know what you call these, but they're cute.
They're like tree fillers. So I
deconstructed
a tree filler, and then I actually deconstructed a, what is that called? Garland.
Okay.
Yes, I deconstructed some garland from there, and then I just had these ornaments at home, and I was just like, hey, might as well throw them in because I'm not using them this season.
There we go. So what you want to do is start to kind of piece in the way that you think you want it to look. And what's your advice on that? Do you sort of want to just go with the flow? Is there a system? Do you just sort of make it sporadic?
So what I usually do is I have one centerpiece. This is my centerpiece right here, the bow. And so I'm gonna work around that. So I'm only gonna make a half a wreath, which is kind of my style. Some people like the full wreaths, but I'm gonna do the half wreath. I have my bow, and then I'm just gonna start adding in some pretty things, some leaves, some of this sparkly stuff, and then I'm gonna take these Christmas balls, and I have a hook on it, and I'm just going to
kind of weave it in there. So if you're like me and you have a problem with commitment and like gluing things down or making a solid decision, you can actually use those little wire hangers and just twist everything into place.
And the best part about using the hooks is that you can take them all off and use this wreath again for next season and have like a completely different scheme. That's the best part of it.
Okay, so we're just kind of going with the flow. I'm going to follow your lead.
We're just going. We're just adding stuff. There's no rhyme or rhythm. I kind of just put something wherever I feel, and then if I don't like it, I take it out. That simple, guys.
And what you can do, if you do want it to be solid, maybe to withstand the crazy winds that we have here in the coastal bend, you can lay it all out, know generally what it's going to look like, make sure you give yourself approval, and then go back and glue everything down.
Exactly, which is what I do 90% of the time.
Okay, cool. So this one's kind of heavier. You want to think about like heaviness or the weight of an item when you put it on so that you don't have like a lot of business at the top and not enough on the bottom. So since this one is really large, where would we put this? Maybe
I'm thinking putting it
on that
right here in the center. Yep. And see, that added a little bit of something. The more that you add to this thing, the cooler it starts looking. Oh, this one's on my front door right now. This is my Christmas wreath. I'm so proud of it.
You should
As you can see, I added an edit to that photo because I just love it.
I love it.
I had this one on my front door for fall. Again, those are just like things that I deconstructed from some garland that I found at Kirkland's.
Nice. Those are really beautiful. This one I love because I want something like this for my wedding. I'm going to have to have you do it.
I actually made that for my sister's wedding, and I made multiple, so I took one home, and that's not my front door, that's my sister's front door, but I did have it on my front door for the fall, the spring.
Very cool. So you can see her Instagram handle there and follow her at KBomb on Instagram because she shares a lot of her creative work, and really we get to utilize that here on the show because we're not all quite as crafty as Kendall. But let's show everybody what our finished product would kind of look like. All we're missing is this pretty guy, so lean it up, and where would you recommend putting this at the end?
I was thinking somewhere maybe over here.
Like there, like a little, okay.
Yeah, just a little something.
See, I'll hold it up, there you go.
And that guy's gonna need to be tied down and hot glued because he's real heavy.
See, but even without the glue, you can see that these things kind of stick in pretty well. So like we said, you can get them in with this stuff or you can hot glue them. Thank you so much, Kendall, for teaching us how to make a wreath. It's not as difficult as we thought it might be.
Not at all, and you'll save so much money if you go and buy all this stuff and then make it yourself. So much money. I recommend
Give it a shot. We want to see your photos if you do try this. So send them to us at Coastal Living TV on Facebook and Instagram. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.